Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 5/12/2022. Sorry for the interruption in between, but we'll try to cover all those topics which are important for us. So now, quickly, we'll see the issues in detail. In rare gesture, Iran shuts morality police. What exactly do we mean by morality police? You might have heard in India as well, you have certain groups like VHP, some Sena in Karnataka and other parts. So what do they do on Valentine's Day and many other days when people are in parks and all? They go and tell them this is not the way to behave. This is not our culture, right? So someone is coming and telling us how we should behave. That is called moral policing. Now I'll come and tell you, this is not the way you should wear your clothes, this is not the way you should behave in public. So they all come under what? Moral policing, right? So in this particular case, in Iran, what happened? There was a Kurdish girl. Remember, guys, Kurds are considered to be anti by Iran, Iraq, Turkey, and other people because these Kurds want to have independence, they want to establish Kurdistan. So, normally, sympathy for Kurds is less. They are considered to be minorities within Iran. Now, that lady was caught because she was not wearing hijab. And then in the police station, she was killed. Now, this led to protests across Iran. Many women came to the streets and they started fighting against this particular incident. Now, immediately after that, the Iranian government tried to punish the protesters. They did not fight against the police, but they tried to protest or, arrest the protesters itself. Now you can see state is killing or arresting its own people on religious basis. So there is human rights violation in Iran. Now this was used by United States of America to fight against the Iranian regime. So US was trying to tell to the world that Iran is bad because it is trying to kill its own people just because they are wearing hijab. Now, this was understood by Iranian government, where Iran started telling this is a propaganda which US is trying to do against Iran. Remember, guys, these Western countries like Europe, US, and all, wherever in any country, whichever they don't like, and if there is any protest happening, they fund. For example, the farmers protests, CAA protests in India, all those things were actually funded. This is a clear cut indication that the third country will interfere. So I am telling you two things. One is what Iran did is wrong, correct, but US and other countries will be waiting for an opportunity to overthrow the Iranian regime in the name of human rights. They have removed many presidents across the world in the name of human rights. Now, if any country interference in another country's internal issues because of human rights violation, then it is called as R2P, responsibility to protect. Earlier it was called as humanitarian intervention. Now it is called responsibility to protect. So US and other countries were trying to use this definition to interfere in Iran. But now, like for the first time in history, Iranian court and the government has come together and they have told that wearing hijab or not wearing hijab is a woman's choice. They have told it is up to the woman to decide. So let us see in what terms they have told over a period of time. But this is a significant victory. Guys, students of PSI are optional. Extremely important article for you on how exactly things are unfolding in that country. You can write down below international relations, Iran's hijab case, Iran's hijab case, hyphen 22-year-old 22-year-old Iranian Kurdish girl died in Iran due to due to police atrocities. Full stop. This led to massive protests across Iran, which was also supported by several Western democratic countries which tries to protect human rights. First, US tried to interfere. US tried to interfere in the name of responsibility to protect. R2P. It is called R2P. Responsibility to protect. Full stop. After several accusations, fortunately, Iranian government has told that moral policing will be reduced. Moral policing will be reduced. Next, guys. German minister changes stance on UN role in Kashmir dispute. Okay, so let us talk about this. See, guys, Kashmir issue started in 1947-48 when Pakistan attacked India, and at that time Mountbatten and Nehru decided to take this issue to United Nations. And United Nations Security Council passed a resolution with respect to Kashmir. And they told that as Pakistan was the first country to attack India or Kashmir, so Pakistan should withdraw from Kashmir completely. Only after Pakistan withdraws completely, then India must withdraw from Jammu Kashmir. And then India must keep some military in Kashmir and have elections. And whatever the people of Kashmir decide, like referendum, we should accept it. This was the talk at that time. Many countries say India did not go for referendum, but the actual thing is, the resolution clearly says that only if Pakistan withdraws from Kashmir, India should withdraw. As Pakistan never withdrew, India also never had referendum in Kashmir. But United Nations, this issue was taken by India. So many countries say UN should interfere in Kashmir issue. But later India has realized that UN has not done justice in Kashmir issue. So India has clearly told that Kashmir issue must be resolved by India and Pakistan at the bilateral level. We should never invite United Nations or any third party. So please understand, in your answers, you should never write that UN should interfere and resolve Kashmir dispute. That would be wrong. Because India's official stance is that India and Pakistan should bilaterally resolve Kashmir dispute. Now, recently, what happened? Germany told that UN should interfere in Kashmir issue. But later, they have come to India and they have told it is India's self interest. So, India can decide. India and Pakistan can decide rather than United Nations. That means they have changed their stance. Now, guys, just understand Western countries or European countries want India mainly because Russia is exporting oil to the world, and these G7 developed countries, including European Union, they have told that if we are purchasing oil from Russia, then it has to be at $60 per barrel, whereas the market price is very high. So I'll tell you the series of events, guys. Now, as soon as Russia waged war against Ukraine, what happened? Everyone started imposing sanctions on Russia. Now, if sanctions are imposed, Russian economy will collapse. But China and India continue to purchase oil from Russia. Now, the developed countries understood it is not possible for us to stop these countries from purchasing oil from Russia. So, what we should do, even though these countries are purchasing from Russia, we should put a cap. That means maximum. I will buy at $60 per barrel. Beyond that, I won't buy. So, if you put an upper limit, now in the market, if you have like more money and Russia is giving at a cheaper price, then Russian economy will not be beneficial. Right? Now, this is what they want to do. But India, which has increased its imports from Russia, is not willing to accept this, and India might purchase at a greater price. So, Germany and other countries have requested India to follow the price cap that they have imposed. But let us see what India will look into it. So, you write oil price cap, oil price cap, hyphen, after Russia attacked Ukraine, after Russia attacked Ukraine, G7 countries, G7 countries and European Union imposed sanctions on Russia. Imposed sanctions on Russia. But but India and China continued to purchase. Full stop. India is second largest importer where it increased, where it increased almost 20 times, almost 20 times in the past 10 months. First, as importers did not stop, as importers did not stop importing oil from Russia, G7 and European Union has put an oil price cap, has put an oil price cap of $60 per barrel, of $60 per barrel, which would severely affect Russia's exports. OPEC countries, OPEC, OPEC countries have not have not increased oil supply even after imposing sanctions on on Russia. Yeah. Yes, some issues are going on. Belgaum issue between Maharashtra and Karnataka. Belgaum is a border state between Karnataka and Maharashtra, and during the division of states on the basis of language, historically there is a claim by Maharashtra that Belgaum belongs to Marathis, but it has been given to Karnataka. And when you look within Belgaum, there are significant people who speak Kannada. So now it has become in such a way, like, there are people who speak Marathi as well, there are people who speak Kannada as well. So this has led to a fight between the two groups, and elections and other aspects always lead to issues. So ministers from, Maharashtra are planning to come to Belgaum, whereas Karnataka has told any such activities will not be allowed. So this is another border problem that is happening between Karnataka and Maharashtra. We saw similar things between Assam and Meghalaya, Assam, Tripura, Assam, Mizoram. Next, guys, drones to supply drugs in Meghalaya's farthest reaches. See this. Such a beautiful article it is. You're all aware that Meghalaya has Garo, Khasi, Jaintia, three different hills. Now, let us say there is a emergency and people need medicines. Most of the medicines are not available at primary healthcare centers. Like, some basic facilities will be there. But in case of emergency or anything, getting medicine supplies are extremely difficult. So, Meghalaya government has used drones for the first time, where, drones are used to supply medicines to the primary healthcare center. Now they have a place where the drone can land, provide medicines, and then come. You see this is where technology comes into picture, and this is where you need to understand the role of airways, because airways is extremely costly, but for tourism and other purpose in Himalayan states, airways is the best form. But than airways, drones, if we can use, that is the most cheaper form, and it will definitely help Indian government to reach to some of the remotest corners and also help them. This is a typical case study, guys, if you can write in your answers, that can change the game. You write drone usage, drone usage, hyphen, Meghalaya has many mountains, like Garo, Garo, Khasi, Khasi, Jaintia. Full stop. Some of these places, some of these places are so remote, are so remote that it is difficult to reach there. It's difficult to reach there. Full stop. During health emergency, during health emergency, providing medicines to providing medicines to primary healthcare centers, is very difficult. Is very difficult. Meghalaya government, Meghalaya government has used Vertiplane X3, Vertiplane, Vertiplane X3, which is India's first drone station designed for medical supplies. Designed for medical supplies. Full stop. This helps in providing medicines to Pedaldoba, Pedaldoba, Pedaldoba in West Garo. Geography optional students, this may be asked for map marking. Pedaldoba in West Garo Hills. Next, guys, just one factual data. Vizinjam Port Development Project is in Kerala. There is some protest going on, guys, in geography or somewhere they may ask you this. A small uptick. GST collections show consumers have been cautious about festive spending. Not required, guys. They're just telling how it has varied. New phases in Nepal's politics, a phase of change. It is completely who has won and who has not won, so not important, don't worry. An unfamiliar trope. It is about the football, like where they have given how well they have been performing, especially Africa and Asia. The next issue, very, very, very important issue is, I would say, if possible, you cut and taste this because, on World Soil Day, the way the article is explained is really good. So I'll read out every point and tell you what it means. See, guys, the article begins by saying that healthy soils are very, very essential for our survival because they only help proper plant growth, which will enhance our nutrition and also water percolation. See, guys, we need water and food for survival. Food is produced when soil is good. Water will also be helpful if groundwater level increases. Second, like oceans, soil also act as carbon sink, Whenever carbon dioxide content present in the soil reduces, the atmospheric carbon dioxide enters into the soil. So remember, the second largest carbon sink is soil. And if you have a very good soil, it helps us to fight against droughts and floods as well, right? So as soil is very important for food production, soil fertility is directly proportional to food security, right? This is another important aspect that we must be aware. Next, degradation and its consequences. Why is there loss of soil fertility? One, guys, nutrient loss. How does the soil lose its nutrients? Because of, industrial activities, mining, waste treatment, that is dumping of all the waste, agriculture, extraction of fossil fuels, transport emissions. When all these are added, the nutrients of the soil will be reduced and the soil can also be polluted. Whereas, apart from this, there is a possibility of, soil erosion by wind, water. Leaching basically means, guys, whenever water is going downward, if it tries to remove the chemicals, nutrients in the soil, then it is called as leaching. Fine. So what is the difference between erosion and leaching? Some people have this confusion. You see, now if I have a soil, because of wind action or so, if the top layer of the soil is removed, it is called erosion. But because of water, when the water goes down, it will remove all the things that are present in the soil, called as leaching. So there is this difference, guys. So leaching also leads to problems. Now, some facts which may be helpful for you. In India, 29% of the total land available for agriculture is degraded. 3.7 million hectares suffer from nutrient loss in the soil, right? Apart from this, they have also given the measures taken by the government of India, like, you see, guys, soil chemical free, saving soil diversity, enhancing, soil moisture, maintaining soil moisture, mitigating soil degradation, preventing soil erosion. Yes, these words must be there. I'm not dictating because this entire article is important for you. It's a very well written article, guys. Now they are also giving you about soil health card. You might have heard India has a scheme called Soil Health Card Scheme in 2015, right? SHC, and that will tell us how much soil is good and how much is bad. So that is also very, very important for you. Other pertinent initiatives include Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So it is irrigation, because see, guys, earlier irrigation was mostly flood irrigation. Flood irrigation means what happens? The entire agricultural land will be covered with water, and when you cover the entire agricultural field with water, water will start going down. And when it goes down, leaching happens. But in Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, they are planning for drip irrigation. So what is going to happen? Drop by drop water is being given, which will help in agricultural activity much better. And we also have preventing soil erosion by constructing trees, shelter belts and all, right? And at the same time, we are planning for regeneration of natural vegetation, rainwater harvesting, and recharging of the groundwater. So guys, till here, this is very important article. Please try to make notes of the entire thing or cut it and keep it, guys. It will be helpful. Yeah. It's, I think the text and context is not there in yours, but still some issues are very important for us. So let me explain you that. See guys, Indian Ocean region basically means Africa on one side, Asia on another side, Australia on the third side. In between this, whatever is there is called as Indian Ocean region. And there is a grouping called IOR grouping, which India is closely monitoring. Recently, China has organized, Chinese Indian Ocean region forum. Chinese Indian Ocean region forum. And here they are trying to develop good relations with all the Indian Ocean region countries. Now, Indian Ocean region is under India's control, and if China tries to come and has its influence in the region, then India's influence will keep on reducing slowly, and China is entering into India's area. So India is worried about this. India says there is already Indian Ocean region. Why are we entering into a new Indian Ocean region? Why do we need a new forum? So India boycotted it, whereas several neighboring countries like Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, everyone accepted. Maldives, Australia, India, they are claiming that they did not go to this. And China has told India has not come, but Australia and Maldives they have told they are coming. So please make a note. Indian Ocean region, hyphen, it is surrounded by Africa. It is surrounded by Africa, West Asia, West Asia, South Asia, and Southeast Asia, including Australia. Full stop. In this region, several countries try to show dominance. Several countries try to show dominance, but India has never allowed this region this region to be to be used by other countries for their economic benefits or political benefits. IOR, Indian Ocean region, IOR hyphen ROC, IOR ROC is an organization through which these countries are communicating. But recently, but recently, China International Development, China International Development Cooperation Agency focused on Indian Ocean region through China Indian Ocean Region Forum. China Indian Ocean Region Forum. Full stop. China tries to develop good relations with Indian Ocean countries and also deepen its economic activities. Chinese presence in the region is strategic threat to India. Strategic threat to India. Okay. Yes, next, why has the Reserve Bank of India introduced an e-rupee? Yes, digital currency. What is the difference between digital currency and normal currency? See, I have 500 rupees note with me. Is normal currency. Digital currency is it will be in mobile phones, internet. There will be certain places where you can hold the digital currencies. Now you can transfer the digital currency. It's not digital payments, guys. Digital payments are different. This is digital currency. So that means you see, if I keep 100 rupees in a bank, the bank has to give me some interest. Nowadays they give 3.5 to 4% per year. But if you keep money in a digital bank or a digital account, e-rupee, then no one will be paying you the money. Now, what are the benefits of this? First important thing is cost of production for RBI will be less. See, if you have to print notes, you need to spend money. Here, nothing of that sort, so it's easy. Second, black money transaction reduces. Third, monitoring by RBI will be easier. Fourth, the major benefit is uh, there will be reduction in fake currencies, right? But what are the risks? The banking sector may collapse because most of the people may convert their digital currency into e-rupee, but that is not true completely. Because if you keep in e-rupee, you're not getting any interest, but if you keep in digital rupee, that is like if you keep in bank, if you get money, let me take a case. If you just keep it in e-rupee form, you won't get any interest, but if you keep it in the bank, you get interest. Why will you keep in e-rupee form, not in the bank? So that is not valid. But another critic they say is government can check what are we doing, how are we using the money. So that is some people have a problem with this, that government big brother is watching this. So that is where they will be having the concern with. So the positives and negatives that I told you, you can make a note of those. Next, investigators search for source of ransomware attack on AIMS servers. So it's almost AIMS, the hospital and associated things were hacked, where they tried to collect data. I don't know who is doing it and what is the reason behind it, but this clearly shows that we are all worried because of this particular act. So government is trying to see who is behind this cyber security threat. Guys, in a another very important development, Taliban has told that Indian embassy can come and India can invest in Afghanistan, which is really a very good thing because this will help India to develop good relations with Afghanistan. So India slowly has started, right, developing relations with Afghanistan because our interests are there and we don't want Pakistan to misuse them against India, right? So rest are all not so important issues, guys. Bharat Jodo Yatra and others. Yes, India's growth and prosperity is linked to the oceans. This is an article which is trying to talk about, like, president talking to the navies on the Navy Day. The Navy Day is celebrated when, in 1971 India-Pakistan war, the Navy created a history by blasting, the Karachi port, which helped India win the war easily. So that day is celebrated. So a statement has been released. Yeah. So the most important one, another important one is Nagaland houses fly black flags to mark a year of Mon killing. See guys, Nagaland, people of Nagaland wanted to have greater Naga limb. Fine, they want all the Nagas to come together to establish greater Naga limb. And these Nagas are present in Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, and all. So, till now, the Naga groups were fighting that we want a separate country. But later, they are asking at least give me a separate state, including the Nagas present in other areas. Unfortunately, within Nagaland now, there is a new grouping called as Eastern Nagaland People's Organization. They call ENPO. Eastern Nagaland People's Organization. And these 7 tribes across 6 districts, they're asking for separate statehood. They're telling that we want to be separated from existing Nagaland. And this has become a very important issue for us. So now you tell, should I listen to the group which says I want greater Nagalim, or should I listen to the group who wants to be divided? So when they are fighting among themselves, Indian government is confused whom to support. But this is very, very important, guys. You write internal security issue in Nagaland. Hyphen, the Eastern Nagaland People's Organization, hyphen, an apex body of 7 tribes, an apex body of 7 tribes across 6 districts are demanding for separate statehood within Nagaland. Yeah. So guys, these are some of the important issues. We'll meet tomorrow.